What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your early Sunday afternoon. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about New York Mets designated hitter and first baseman Daniel Vogelbach, the 30-year-old, whom the New York Mets acquired via a trade last year during the MLB Trade Deadline around July to pretty much be one of their DH players for the team, and they actually ended up picking up his player option for him to return with the New York Mets this year. Vogelbach's not a small guy. He's a guy that has a lot of girth, 6 foot, 270-pound, 30-year-old, formerly of the Pittsburgh Pirates, got traded to the New York Mets last year around the trade deadline. He's not exactly very nimble. I would say he's probably not one of those guys that is going to be a defensive specialist, but the one thing that he has is power. He has power in his bat. He just sometimes swings and misses a little bit too much, and at times strikes out way too much as well. But Vogelbach is one of those interesting players heading into this spring training. He slimmed down a lot. I believe he lost about 25 pounds this offseason to get himself in a much better shape heading into this 2023 Major League Baseball season. But in terms of his season last year with the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates, overall, he played in 130 games where he averaged around 352 at-bats. He scored at least 45 runs scored. He had at least about 72 hits overall in the season, 19 doubles, 1 triple, 18 home runs. He averaged about 59 RBIs on the season between Pittsburgh and New York. He had 73 walks, and he averaged about 114 strikeouts on the season, with a batting average of around 230, 235, an on-base percentage of about 352, a slugging percentage of about 433, and an OPS of around 712. Obviously, he's a guy that when you look at him, he's going to be one of those power hitters at the designated hitting position. And one of the biggest issues with the New York Mets last year is they didn't have anybody that could really be a force at that designated hitter position. The New York Mets struggled mightily to try to find themselves a consistent designated hitter for their team going into the 2023 or 2022 season throughout. Whether it was J.D. Davis, Dominic Smith, Vogelbach when they acquired him, Darin Ruf, Tyler Naquin when they brought him up, even some of the kids like Mark Vientos, Francisco Alvarez. The Mets didn't really have a clear designated hitting option on the team. Going into this year now, you have a couple of options, and Vogelbach is going to be one of those guys. He's going to be one of the designated hitting options for the New York Mets. Obviously, he's a left-handed batter. Gives him another lefty in that lineup to go with Nimmo, to go with Lindor, who's a switch hitter. You obviously got McNeil. So you got lefty guys in that lineup for the team. But can Vogelbach find a way to recapture some of his numbers that he had in previous seasons and become the legit answer for the New York Mets at that designated hitting position? He had his best season back in 2019 where he had 30 home runs and 76 RBIs overall for the Seattle Mariners. And he hasn't hit 30 home runs since. The closest he got was in 2022, where he had 18 home runs and 59 RBIs in 130 games. In fact, in terms of games played, before last year, Vogelbach only played in 100-plus games in 2 seasons, in 2019 and in 2022. Otherwise, the largest amount of games he played previously was in 2021, where he played in 93. So obviously he's had to deal with injuries over the past couple of years, or lack of playing time because of his lack of defense, as well as the fact that he's been a strikeout player for a lot of times too. So, can Daniel Vogelbach potentially be the answer at designated hitter? In my opinion, I think the team is going to go with a platoon at DH. I think depending on the matchup, I think you're going to get Vogelbach going against righties, and you're going to get Ruf going against lefties. Play that righty-lefty matchup at the designated hitting position. Because neither one of those guys right now have proven that they can be a consistent guy in the lineup day in, day out, game in, game out. The Mets are going to pretty much just go back and forth with both these guys. And it really just depends on the certain matchup of when you're going to see these guys going out there and playing on a consistent basis for the team. I think Vogelbach, if he actually, becomes more of a contact hitter, which is going to be very difficult when you've been in the league since he was 23 years old in 2016. Now it's 2023. He's all of a sudden going to be a much better contact hitter at this point. I doubt it. But maybe he could become a little bit better of a contact hitter going into the 2023 season. But in reality, I do believe he's going to be pretty much a platoon guy at the DH position. Maybe takes over once or twice a week if they want to keep his bat in the lineup for Pete Alonso that might need a breather at first base. So it's really just going to be dependent on how Daniel Vogelbach performs during the beginning of the 2023 season, as well as his plate discipline and if he can remain healthy for a good amount of the season. Because he does have a good bat in the middle of that lineup to be able to drive the ball over the fence and be able to pick up some good doubles during the seasons too. So, the question is with Vogelbach right now, do you consider him to be the potential answer at the designated hitting position, or would you rather see the New York Mets continue to go with a platoon at the DH spot and not just downright give the position to Daniel Vogelbach going into this season? Because I think the best overall decision for the New York Mets is to go with the platoon. Because neither Ruf nor Vogelbach have proven that they can be a consistent bat to keep in the lineup game in and game out. But at the same time, the fact that Vogelbach did slim down a little bit in the offseason might give you a little bit of an indication that maybe he's ready. Maybe he's ready to take the ascension to the next level in terms of his overall play. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm very intrigued to hear what you guys think about Daniel Vogelbach and his potential going into this Major League Baseball season. And as well, if you believe that Vogelbach is ready to bounce back after what it was a pretty difficult 2022 at times. But now that he's getting his first full season with the New York Mets, do you think he could potentially be one of the answers, if not the answer, at the designated hitter position? You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about Daniel Vogelbach and his potential with the New York Mets heading into this season. Hit that like button, sub up to NYG Jeffy T85. More news, updates, chatter around the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the channel. Videos or shorts dropping on the channel. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the potential and the outlook for Daniel Vogelbach at the designated hitting position heading into the 2023 Major League Baseball season for the New York Mets. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Mets. As always, all you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.